First thing about these inequalities with the radicals is there's certain things that you must avoid. You can have imaginary answers in an equation, but they don't fit very nicely on a number line. So we must avoid, in this first radical, where x plus 4 is less than 0. So we must avoid x is less than negative 4. I'll mark that on my number line, and over here to the left, we cannot shade any of that. You also must avoid in the second radical, where 5 minus x is less than 0. That will result in x is greater than 5. I'll mark that on my number line, and then everything to the right of that, we cannot shade any of that. To figure out any other critical points, take your inequality, change it to an equation, and solve that. I'll square the two sides. I'll take this x over here on the right, add it to the left, subtract the 4, and I get the other critical point or key point on my graph of 1/2. I went to my graphing calculator and I typed in for y1 the square root of x plus 4, and I took the second square root, the second radical, and I subtracted it to the other side. The reason why I did that is I want to compare the results to greater than or equal to 0. I went to my table of values and I typed in points in these regions and the critical points. When I typed in a negative 10, it returned with an error message. And it should return with an error message because that's in this region to the left that we have to avoid. I typed in a negative 4, it gave me a negative 3. Negative 3 greater than or equal to 0? No, do not shade. I typed in the 0, a point between the negative 4 and the 1/2, and that returned negative 0.2361. Greater than or equal to 0? No, do not shade. I typed in the critical value 1/2, and 1/2 returned to 0, and that satisfies the equal to part, so you will shade. I typed in a number between 1/2 and 5. I chose 3, and 3 gave me 1.2315, which is greater than or equal to 0. You will shade here. I typed in the number 5, this last critical point, and it returned a 3. 3 is greater than or equal to 0. You will close in that 5. And then I typed in a number to the extreme right, a 10, and that returned an error message. And I was not surprised because that's in this area that I cannot shade. So I will shade just this little area between the 1/2 and the 5, close those circles. Your interval notation is 1/2 with a bracket and 5 with a bracket. Hey, have a nice day.